and just so I know, one question, you don't get a follow-up, and please let us hold the mics, okay? I've done this too many times with people getting mic hungry, get mic pause, okay? Go ahead. Who's your question for? Let go of the mic.
The question I have is, I understand Texas and well, many other states are mandated to teach Common Core. And I'm not too in favor of that because right now it's mandated for math and sciences, and they added history. Well, that could be running into CRT. But
You have a question, get to the point. Who's it to? Who are you asking?
Common Core in Texas.
Who are you asking? Which candidate? Okay, thank you.
Common Core goes back to before 1996, and the federal government came into all of the states and said that you have to have learning standards for each student at each grade level. When that happened, Texas was already ahead of the game, and we had our Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills. With that, Common Core then came into place. When they talk about Common Core, it's the Common Core subjects. Now, how it's taught at different places depends on the local government and how they decide to implement it. I think whenever we're speaking about math, and we're talking about new math, I taught math at the 4th grade level and at the 6th grade level. You're looking at conceptual learning, and it's being misconstrued with Common Core. Not that there aren't moments in time when teachers, and back to the CRT thing, if that lesson happened in a classroom, we need to be able to fix it. But there are teachers, whenever you've got 4,500 teachers, that sometimes go rogue. But unless we know about it, we cannot fix it. As far as Common Core is concerned, we do not use Common Core in the state of Texas. We use the Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills. It happened in '96. After that, the other states decided to implement Common Core.
All right, thank you. Again, one question, no follow-up. We will hold the mic.
This goes on what Ms. Aber was just saying, and that she's saying if we see these assignments, we need to say something. I did say something, and the admin told me that it's our responsibility as parents to be the watchdog. What that tells me is that you're saying our children need to be the watchdogs. The onus is being put on our children, because if they go into a classroom and they see this and they don't come home and tell us, then we don't know to tell you. So what are you doing to further the watchdog mechanism for oversight? There's no oversight.
There is oversight.
It's not. I've got 10 examples on my phone
I would love
that
to
show that this stuff is happening, and I'm being told at the admin level that it is the onus of my child to be the watchdog.
So you went to them with a lesson that you had in hand, and you said this happened, and they said,
And they said, let us know. We want to know if those things are happening. Come tell us and show us, just like you're
did they
saying.
give you any kind of reconciliation whenever you brought to them the inappropriate lesson?
One thing they did, and the other is what they finished saying. Thank you for bringing it to me. Keep telling the parents to bring it. But what you're asking then is for the children to be the ones that brings it to the attention, because if the kids don't come home and they're bombarded with this stuff all the time, so they're being desensitized to it.
And was this before September 1st?
This was 2 weeks ago.
This happened 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna have time at each individual table later. Let's get some more
That's my
questions.
question is, so what is the plan? Because there is not a watchdog here.
You're asking our children to be.
Talk to me, and I'll.
No, I want everybody to hear. What is the plan? Because my 14-year-old is not responsible for being the watchdog for what's going on in the school system.
Okay, no more follow-up. Answer that question.
Okay. All lessons are posted to each teacher's website. Every lesson that your student gets within Frisco ISD is posted to Canvas. If something happens or they see something that is not posted, then yes, you need to make somebody aware of it. The student can go onto every single grade level, every single subject, and see what it is they're going to learn for the week. And they know what that is on Sunday night or Monday, whenever the teacher posts it, sometimes even Friday, for the following week. They know the lessons ahead of time. So there's nothing that's not posted. There's nothing that the principal doesn't see. It is the administrator's job on each campus to make sure that they are the oversight for their teachers. The school board is the governing body. We are the governance piece of Frisco ISD. We enact policy, We make sure that it's being taken care of. We don't go specifically into each classroom. That is up to the principal. The principal has somebody over them, the managing director, that's looking over the principal. Everybody is evaluated constantly. Every lesson's posted.
Thank you. Who has another question?
This question is for Dustin Pascal.
Pascal.
Sorry. The current Frisco ISD has a district governing their funding for governing priorities that they go to Boston for. One of them is prioritizing funding for traditional public schools by limiting expansion of charter operators and also opening new schools. And the state is for the state to prioritize that funding against charter schools. Now, just as to be open, my kids are in charter school. They're on a wait list. There's a wait list of thousands to get in charter schools here in Frisco. Where do you stand on charter school expansion for the state and for Frisco? Because this legislation that Dr. Waldrop testified for a year ago would have been successful in limiting charter schools not just in Frisco, but statewide.
Thank you for the question. To be honest and to be forthright, I'm against the expansion of charter schools. They don't have the same standards under the state law that our public schools do when it comes to assessments and accountability. And for each student that the public schools lose to a charter school, that lowers the allotment that our public schools get under the financial model that the state uses to fund our public schools. And so when they go to the charter schools, our funding to the public schools go down. It's certainly your right now to send your kids to charter school, and that's fine. But I am against the expansion of charter schools.
Next question. Who's got one? I got one over here, Mark.
I'm not here to argue about CRT, but I have a good teacher, Ted Hart, and he has told us that there is CRT going on in Frisco, and he also said that if we want to know what a candidate believes, ask them who they voted for in the last presidential election. Who did you vote for, Natalie?
Well, this is a nonpartisan position, but I probably voted the same way that most of you voted.
What does that mean?
Well, that was my question. Do you not want to answer it?
It's a nonpartisan position, but
If you don't want to answer my question. Okay,
you
thank
can
you.
look at my voting record. It's very clear where I stand. I stand similarly to, well,
This is a nonpartisan. Frisco ISD is nonpartisan. City Council is nonpartisan. I have my own beliefs, and other people have their own beliefs. But I don't think this is the place to find out where a candidate or Phil candidate voted for.
Anyone else? The quicker we get these questions, the quicker we can have you open up and go to the table. So let's take a couple more. Right here.
This is for Stephanie. In your statement, did you know CRT inspired training and assignments existed at FISD despite denials from the district? My girlfriend has grandchildren here, and she said yes, it is in the Frisco ISD, but they're very subtle about it.
Well, I'm not sure how you define subtle. I just know that, like that example that Marvin shared was one of the first examples that I saw regarding that. And then I've seen just more and more since. And there's oftentimes, diversity training that includes a lot of the things about equity that the teachers are having to give. And, I don't have a lot of time to really get into it right now, but happy to talk to you about it further afterwards. And like I said, I have several examples that teachers, students, and parents have sent to me that are very concerning. And I don't think it's okay to assign articles to students in class that call our founding fathers racist. I don't think that's okay. So there are a lot of things, and it comes through different ways, but a lot of it's through the equity agenda. And like I said, that's one of the board's stated priorities, and I don't think that equity and social justice should be a stated board priority. I think we should focus on academics and learning and, teaching and those kinds of things and not all these other things. So unfortunately, I don't have time to get too in-depth in it, but happy to chat with you afterwards.
One more question, then we're gonna have everybody go to the table. Who had, way in the back. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. Most sections of it.
Yeah, I have a question for Phil Carpet. Do you believe in banning books, or do you trust parents' education of their own children and that they decide to read?
I know the book banning is a very hot topic right now, and I'm sure that's gonna come to our district soon. I saw in the news last week in Richmond, Virginia, the way the school board there handled it was as such. Just like we have movies that are rated, the school board decided not to remove books, but what they did come up with is a rating system. So if you wanna limit your child's library checkout privileges to certain topics, then that's your right. What one book is okay for one family, you'd be surprised what another family thinks about that same book. So that's a hard situation to control. But if you have concerns, what you can do is limit your child's checkout material on a family decision of what you're comfortable with. And I think that's something we need to think about.
Okay, thanks for everybody for coming out. If everybody would sit at their respective table, if they like, or just stand and